So you might be asking, why am I sitting here sipping bourbon? Well, I'm training for my next race. Welcome to Dangerous Runner. I'm Ralph. Now, if you're watching this video thinking I'm going to give you training tips using bourbon, oh man, I'm really sorry. I'm going to disappoint you. I don't think you can use bourbon for training. Although if I ever figure it out, believe me, I'll be the first one to do a video. And I'm here doing one of my short long runs, trying to do 8 or 9 miles a day. My last long run before my next race, which is on October 8th in Louisville, Kentucky. It's called the Urban Bourbon. Thought I'd bring you along with me, talk a little bit about the race and a little more about the strategy that I'm going to use for the race and what I'm all about today. I don't know if you've ever been to Louisville, but it's really a fun city to visit. Of course, they got lots of good food, lots of good drink. Churchill Downs is there if you're a horse racing or Kentucky Derby fan. Just kind of a neat city to visit. Makes a great weekend trip. And I haven't been there in 3 years. The last time I did this race in 2019. In fact, this race is probably the only race I'm really willing to travel for. Travel meaning get a hotel and spend a night or two in order to do the race. It's just that much fun. And it's not so much the race, it's the after party. Now I understand from the race organizers this course is going to be a little different this year, but I don't know enough about Louisville to say how it's different from when I did it 3 years ago. But I know we get to run through the city, of course. I know 3 years ago we saw some beautiful old homes. We get to run out in some farm pasture. We get to run along the river, and we get to cross the bridge and go over into Indiana. Make a short little big loop in Indiana and come back. I'm hoping when I cross the bridge I see a barge. That'll be pretty cool. So my last race was a half marathon in the middle of August. Since then I did a 10-mile run about 3 weeks ago, and no long run since then. However, about 10 days ago my wife and I went down to the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, did a 12-mile hike that had an elevation gain of about 2,800 feet. So that's almost like another hard run, but I think I'm recovered from all those. I actually feel pretty good today. It's cool out here, maybe 43. Like I said, I'm hoping to do 8 miles. So I decided to run on a bike trail today. You can see I'm out in the countryside, and I hope this wasn't a mistake. You know, it's very pretty out here. It has nothing to do with the location, but it's weed pollen is really in season right now. That kind of gets to me a little bit. So hopefully I won't regret being out here. But luckily it's cool. Maybe the cool weather will help keep the weed pollen down this morning. But it is beautiful out here. I don't regret that one little bit. So as I said, while the race is pretty, it's beautiful going around there. The real fun is the after party, what they call the Urban Bourbon Bash. It's at a place called 4th Street Live, which is kind of a big covered area. It's maybe, I don't know, at least a city block. It's got restaurants and shops inside, real kind of a fun area. And so they have food, they have music. You get to try burgoo, which is a regional stew, a regional that area of Kentucky. It's a lot of fun, it's kind of a meat stew. And of course, it's the Urban Bourbon. They have bourbon distilleries there. You get samples of bourbon. I don't know, you get like 5 or 6. And of course, this race is sponsored by Jim Beam. So there's got to be bourbon there, so that'll be a lot of fun. So my strategy for this long run is very similar to all my long run strategies, and that is to spend most of my time in the aerobic zone. Now I get into zone 4, the threshold zone, or certainly not zone 5, the maximum zone. So I seem to be doing that well so far. And I was thinking the last time I did the Urban Bourbon 3 years ago, I think that was my personal record for a half marathon. I can't recall what the time was off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that was my PR. I have no intentions of trying to do that or beat it this year. Just don't want to do that. And of course, we know as we get older, we slow down. I know 3 years though is probably not a huge difference, but that was my PR 3 years ago. I guess sometimes you just call it quits. Sorry, little buddy. You wonder what happened there. Well, it looks like I'm reaching the end of the trail, which means I'll need to turn around. Assume this is the end. I don't think it crosses. No. So I'm at 4.5 miles. That means round trip I'll probably end up with 9 miles. That's good. It's really good. Hey, if you're enjoying this beautiful day like I am, please scroll down, hit that like icon. Those likes really help my channel. Thank you so much. So my training so far for the Urban Bourbon has been very haphazard. You know, I did that 10-mile run 3 weeks ago. And then a few days after that, I got sick. Had to be on an antibiotic for 10 days. Wasn't anything major, but I didn't run. And then my wife and I did that 12-mile hike in the Smoky Mountains. Been recovering since then. I think this is only my second run in the last 3 weeks. But I do have 2 weeks left. But I think the other thing is if you have a good training base, you've been regularly running, doing long runs. You know, I did a 50K in July, a half marathon in August, running pretty regularly up until 3 weeks ago. I think you can have issues like this, where maybe you're off your training, and assuming you're not going to attempt something more difficult than you've ever run, I think you can be fine. I'll find out. I think I'll be fine. Like I said, I've got 2 weeks left. I'll get, 4 to 6 short runs in that time. I think it'll all be good. I'm feeling pretty good today, and I'll end up at 9 miles. So my strategy for the race is not going to be any different than my strategy today. Keep it in zone 3, 1, 2, and 3. Keep it in the aerobic zone. Like I said earlier, I have no desire to set a PR. I have nothing to prove. I don't care about my time. I want to enjoy the run, and I want to feel good afterwards. We got the party afterwards. We'll be there the rest of the day in Louisville. We're going to spend Saturday night there. Want to go out and have a good time. So I don't want to exhaust myself in a run. So I'll be watching my heart rate, keeping it below the threshold zone, keeping it below zone 4, and enjoying the view. It's got to be a beautiful view. Hopefully it won't rain. Hopefully it'll be a sunny day, just like today. So I got a new mini massage gun last week. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'll be doing a review of that in about a month. But I'm taking it with me to Louisville. It's easy to pack. I'll be able to do that before the race, after the race. Looking forward to trying it out in those circumstances. Now, if you use a percussion massager, I'll talk more about that in early November. But I'm looking forward to trying that. Help my muscles before the race and after. Now, 3 years ago, there was really only one hill to speak of on the course. It was a long hill through some city park. I have no idea if this year's course would be like that, but in generally, the course is not too hilly. Maybe one hill, so it's not too bad. So made a decision, I'm going to push hard at the end here, harder. I'll get my heart rate up to zone 4, but I kind of want to finish hard. I think that'd be good training. I hope it can get me ready in 2 weeks for that half marathon. So I ran hard enough, I got my heartbeat up into the low 150 beats per minute, 154. Ran for there for a while, but it was interesting when I stopped and started walking and came back down to zone 3, dropped, a dozen beats pretty quickly. To me, that's a sign I'm pretty good condition. I'm not overly tired. My heart rate's recovering pretty quickly, so I like that. That's a good sign. So we look at my heart rate training zones from my Garmin Connect app. You can see I spent the vast majority of my time in zone 3, which is good. That's what I want to do. A little bit of time in zone 4, and that was at the end there where I decided to push it hard, get my heart rate up, kind of do a strong finish, help with my aerobic ability and conditioning, getting ready for the race. So I'm really happy with that run. Now, you may ask me, Rob, what was your pace? And I'm not going to share that because I stop all the time and video, and there was a maintenance worker on the path there. I chat with him for a few minutes. So I don't even have any idea what my true pace is, but I don't care. It was a good run. I met my heart rate goals I wanted to do, and I'm happy with it. So I have maybe 1 or 2 more races left this fall. There's a 25K at the end of October I'm kind of interested in. It's a trail race. And then I'll probably do a turkey trot at Thanksgiving time. So we'll see. But thanks again for watching this video and tagging along. If you're doing any races in this fall, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you're doing. In any case, if you like this video, please go down and hit that like icon. And if you're new here, I'd love to have you stick around with me. Hit that subscribe icon while you're at it. Thanks again and happy running.